Hello, classmates and Rebecca. For this assignment, I'm using my passionate topic of wellness tourism based on Ayurveda. I have identified four questions for my research. A plethora of material and literature is available on wellness. I wanted to use a qualitative method to get first hand knowledge from the consumers and practitioners of Ayurveda. For that, the option I chose is face to face interview. As wellness experience is unique for each individual, a semi structured interview would be helpful for me to gather the information. As you see on this slide, these are my four questions. And I wanted to focus on my first question, which is what are the motivational factors for tourists seeking out a wellness experience? Authors Dolnikar et al. Have proposed a Grevillea model of importance of vacation for people's quality of life. They use the metaphor of Grevillea, an Australian native shrub, because it comes in hundreds of varieties, symbolizing the large amount of differences in people with respect to the contribution vacations makes to their quality of life. The core quality of life domains are symbolized by the branches and leaves of the shrub, which are fundamental to its survival. The Grevillea model is in line with the Maslow's hierarchy of needs theory and the TCL framework because it acknowledges that some needs are more important than others and is also in line with literature that agrees that quality of life consists of a number of domains. However, the Grevillea model differs from both these frameworks in that heterogeneity between people and within people over a person's life are acknowledged. I'm using self determination theory to understand human motivation in travel and wellness. It represents a broad framework for the study of human motivation and personality. The self determination theory articulates a meta theory for framing motivational studies and offers a description of the respective roles of intrinsic and types of extrinsic motivation in cognitive and self and social development and in individual differences as well. Motivation is considered to be a primary driver of behaviors and a rationale for why individuals think and behave as they do. The self determination theory is suited to examining well being as the outcome of a wellness vacation. The elements from this theory could be applied in the form of a questionnaire, a focus group, or in an interview form. In this mini field research project, I am focusing on one question to find out the motivational factors for tourists seeking out a wellness experience. Questionnaires were used effectively by Leto's work with yoga tourism as a niche within the wellness tourism market, and structured interviews were used by Kelly. Here I'm using semi-structured interview model. For this process, I decided to look into the community center in Sydney, where some of the retired members run active workshops and missions to various countries on humanitarian basis. They also take long vacations during our winter months to countries for relaxation and wellness. I had prior knowledge of this group. I personally approached four individuals and discussed on my master's course in tourism and this research project in wellness. I requested if they would be interested to participate for 45-minute session and it would be video recorded. The individuals were provided with my phone number and an email to respond back if they are interested to take part in this exploration of motivation on wellness. I received three responses of willingness to participate. As Robson and McCartan explains, Semi-structured interview as a flexible and multi-strategy design where it gives the interviewer in a small-scale project like this research a considerable freedom in adapting to the interviewee's responses. I prefer to use a face-to-face interview method for collecting information rather than a telephone interview, as non-verbal cues of the interviewee is important for this research. The candidate I chose is from Vancouver Island and she is well traveled. As I knew her, I sent an invite through a text message and advised that I would like to conduct an interview on what motivates the individual to travel and was hoping to get information on her wellness travel experiences. Interview questions for a semi-structured interview was constructed. These were the guiding questions I used for this semi-structured interview. Each of these questions were based on a set hypothesis. For example, the first question I had, my assumption was that services and amenities are very important to wellness tourists. There is a relation between the respondent's age, family, financial background, and the importance placed on wellness amenities and services. And for the second question, my assumption was that wellness is linked to dynamic balance of mind, body, and spirit, which are same principles in Ayurveda. And for the third one, the hypothesis was that Vancouver Island is unique with ideal climate in comparison to other parts of Canada with abundant greenery and water and land features. The interview took place on June 12th at 6 p.m. in a quiet and calm location next to my home. I had two phones, one recording video and one with an audio setup. The candidate arrived ahead of time and we had a tea and then proceeded to the location. Below is an excerpt from the interview. As a tourist, how wellness activities and amenities are important to you?
Well, when I think about what activities and amenities are important to me, it would go back to my decision to the place I was going to begin with.
Okay.
So I would have a picture in my mind and would have been thinking about what was important to me before I even decided where I wanted to go.
Mm-hmm.
So I would have certain expectations of what would be available and what would be provided to me, as well as the quality of those services.
So can you tell me about one such instances where you have experienced that kind of treatment or that kind of facility you have been in?
Well, funny that you should ask that question. One of the times that I received what I really needed was unexpected, and it was at Salty Springs Resort on Salt Spring Island, and it was my first exposure to an Ayurvedic treatment. And I didn't know anything about the treatment. I didn't know what was going to happen, but I found it to be a very nurturing and complete and authentic experience.
Okay. If I may ask, what was the kind of treatment you had over there?
I had an Ayurvedic massage, and the practitioner there, through a few questions and just checking me out, decided what kind of massage treatment that I needed, and she used a custom-made oil to massage me.
Okay.
And the results were wonderful. Yeah.
And how long was the treatment?
I think the treatment was, I think it was 60 minutes. It might have been longer, but I was so impressed with the whole concept that I bought a bottle of the oil and took it home with me.
Okay. Oh, that's nice. Oh, can you briefly explain what kind of what was the feeling after the massage? What did you experience?
I had a clarity of mind. I had peace. I had relaxation in my body, and the feeling that you get when someone has given you their undivided attention to your care.
Fantastic. From this project, I understood that selection of candidate could be challenging based on the intention of research. In this process, I used a purposeful sampling involving me as a researcher selecting potential participants who represent the group. I used nonverbal cues and had prepared some rehearsal questions like, what is your experience with, or describe, or imagine, etc., to help me with the interview. I did use some cues in my interview style. For my topic, it was important to direct the candidate on the influence of wellness tourism on their mind, body, and spirit. I found that managing time was difficult. I had strictly three questions prepared for my session. I allocated 15 minutes time for each, which at times was not enough. Use of a transcribing tool such as Amber Script would have been beneficial to save transcription time and improve accuracy. Testing of equipment, both video and audio, is important. I had two cell phones, one on an audio setting and another video recording. My video recording did not go well and could not upload an edited version due to the size restrictions. For my topic on wellness, interview location was also crucial, and I believe that the selected seaside location worked extremely well. Here are some of the references which I used for this mini field research project. Through this exercise, I understood the vast scope of interviews in research methodology. As wellness is experienced in different way at different levels, I believe this semi-structured interview method could be something I would be using for gathering information from Ayurvedic practitioners and wellness enthusiasts from Kerala and Vancouver Island. I would like to conclude this presentation by saying in Sanskrit, Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu, which means, may all beings everywhere be free and happy. Namaste.